Hello everybody, welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast. Today we're going to be breaking down this exciting, this ever-changing League One playoff race. 4 teams in contention. I'm going to be looking at those teams individually, looking at those run-ins. I've put together a formula as well so you can mathematically get a little bit of an idea of what we think the final top 6 is going to look like. Although I said 4 teams are in contention, I think there's only 2 spaces up for grabs. I think Plymouth, I think MK Dons, Rotherham and Wigan have all booked themselves a place in the playoffs. There's going to be some big teams that miss out. I'll also be giving my genuine top 6 predictions, taking away the mathematical formula as well. I know a lot of people don't really like that. And also, I don't really like it either because we've seen this season more than ever how unpredictable it can be. So don't take too much notice of those sort of formula I've put together. But I think it's a little bit interesting just to look and see based on the home advantage, based on the away disadvantage really, and the big games we've got because there's some real playoff deciders, some 6-pointers in and around the top 6. I can't wait to break those down as well. Let me know in the comments down below who you think are going to make the top 6 come the end of the season. Like I said, 4 teams in contention: Sheffield Wednesday, Wycombe Wanderers, Oxford United and Sunderland. I know Ipswich are just behind them. I just can't see it, Ipswich fans. I'm sorry. If Ipswich do end up making it, then I'll take my hat off and I'll say I'm very, very sorry. But I just can't see it. I think it is down to those 4 teams. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what you've got to say in the comments down below. So let me know, as always. I'll be replying and responding to those. And also subscribe and leave a like as well. We're always adding subscribers at the moment, which is absolutely phenomenal. But we're edging closer to 1.12 thousand subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button. It really would mean the world. Anyway, let's not mess about. Let's get straight into it. So on the screen right now, you can see the playoff running document. Looks very colourful. I'll break it down for you in just a second. But ultimately, all you need to know straight away is the 4 teams in contention: Sheffield Wednesday, Wycombe Wanderers, Sunderland and Oxford United. All the teams across the top there, and you can see there which position they are in the league table. They're in order: 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. You can also see as well below that the remaining games they've got. Some teams have got 6, that being Sheffield Wednesday and Sunderland. And you'll also see their current points they're sat on. 72 points for Sheffield Wednesday, 72 points also for Wycombe Wanderers, 70 points for Sunderland, and 69 points for Oxford United. So below that as well, you can see their specific run-ins, their individual run-ins come the end of the season. Some absolutely gigantic, decisive games of football. Now, you're going to see they're going to be colour-coded, and that's why I'm going to break down the formula for you first and foremost, because this is, again, it's going to be very subjective. A lot of people are going to agree, hopefully. A lot of people are going to disagree as well, I can imagine. I'm never going to get it spot on. I'm never going to be able to predict it, or else I'd go down the road now, pick up a lottery ticket and print the winning one. Unfortunately, that isn't possible. I won't be able to do that. But what I can do is put a rough formula together that's going to give us the best idea possible. It's really here to give you a good idea of which teams have got the toughest run-ins, which team are going to have the real test at this business end of the season. That's ultimately the reason behind it. Not really the points, not really the position. I will be giving my top 6, and I'm not going to lie. Again, I will be taking this into consideration. However, this is to give you a really good idea of what the difficulty of the individual run-ins look like. So you can see on the screen now the little formula at the bottom here. Here it is. So you can see a higher position in the league table than that current team at home equals 1 point. A higher position in the league than them away is no points. That's a defeat. Below in the league, team at home is 3 points. A team from 5th to 12th away from home is 1 point. And a team from 13th to the bottom of the league, 24th away, is 3 points. So that does take into consideration the clear home advantage we've seen this season as well, and the different teams you're playing based on their league position. Now, of course, it's got to be said, it doesn't matter who you play. There's been some incredible upsets this season, so it doesn't really matter where you are in the league table. That's been proved time and time again since the start of the season. However, we need to get a rough idea together. We know the home advantage is very significant and has been so significant this season, so I had to take that into advantage as well. But it's all about the difficulty of these run-ins, and of course, it's about momentum as well. It's about the recent form, and we'll have a look at that in just a second as well. So, you can see this on the screen. So, we're going to start off with Oxford United because they're the team currently in 8th. Probably the team that have got to climb the most. And, I mean, looking at points, they definitely have. That's just fact. They've got to climb the most to get in the top 6. They're on the least amount of points out of all the teams. And they're one of the teams with only 5 games remaining compared to the other teams. Well, Sheffield Wednesday and Sunderland, playoff rivals. They've got to play 6. So, of course, we come into this game at Sunderland, and that's the top team you can see here. And it is a must-win game. And Oxford United, we've got a bit of a tendency to do it. We like to play catch-up, whether we're in a really good position all season or whether or not we're chasing from the start of the season. We love to play catch-up. But as a fan, it's so frustrating. It's more frustrating this season because we've been really, really good this season. But unfortunately, how tight this season is going to be, I mean, it's already ridiculous. Teams that are going to be on 80-odd points, I don't think are going to make the top 6, which is absolutely just out. That's just remarkable. And that just shows how good this league has been and how competitive this season has been as well. But we look at Oxford United, a Morecambe defeat on Tuesday, a Plymouth defeat on the Saturday, and then an Ipswich late grab win the 2 Saturdays before that. So we haven't won a game in the last 3, and we've now got a home game against Sunderland. And you can see Sunderland against Oxford United at Oxford United. They're both together, 7th and 8th in the league. This is an absolutely gigantic game. It's sold out at the Kassam Stadium tomorrow. I'm absolutely buzzing for the game. But I'm also very, very nervous for it because we've made it so difficult for ourselves. And even if we win the game, and by the way, tomorrow, I don't want to beat around the bush here for Oxford United. This is a must-win game. This is win or bust for Oxford United. We said it against Morecambe, but I feel that this certainly is. I think with the games in hand, I think if we weren't playing Sunderland, I think it would have already been over. But we've got an opportunity to play a team also in the race with us. We've got to win. We've got the win. We're going to have the back. We're hopefully going to have a lot of supporters. We know it's going to be a sellout, but hopefully a lot of people are going to be behind Oxford United on Saturday and believe in the players. They can go and do it. It's going to be such a test. It's going to be such a test. And what worries me is that form. We're going to have to be raring to go. As Cameron Brannigan said himself, it's 5 cup finals for Oxford United. It really is that, and it starts tomorrow. But again, we don't come in with great form. The confidence, I think, although we're going to be hopeful, I know we know how important the game's going to be. The confidence, I think, in that dressing room at the moment with 3 defeats, especially on Tuesday, how horrible that result was and how disappointing the performance was at points in the game as well. And the moments in the game, it's going to be such a difficult game of football and such a tough, but such big. I mean, it's huge. It's such a big reward potentially, isn't it? So it's going to be so tight. You can see also as well, you've got Fleetwood away, MK Dons at home, Rotherham away, and Doncaster at home. So you can see here, I've matched it up with the criteria. That leaves us with a total potential points, and again, that won't be spot on, but roughly, based on that criteria, we'll be sat on 6, 7, 8 potential points added on. And as you can see, 8 points added on, so 8 plus 69. We'll come back to that because I'm going to flick over in a minute to the other screen, which is going to give us our final totals. But you can see here, 8, I mean, you'll be able to do it in your head. You can see 69 points, 8 points added on. But I want to have a look at it come the end because I want to see exactly how it all pans out. But there we go. If we do, and if the criteria and the formula matches up, we'll be on 8 points potential. Some huge games in there. Now, of course, form is everything and momentum is everything, but I really, really don't know. Tomorrow's game is absolutely massive. Can we do it? I really don't know. I hope we can. I just don't know. Next, now let's go to Sunderland because Sunderland are on 70 points. They've got 6 games remaining. They've got a game in hand on Wycombe and Oxford United, 7th in the league. And you can see here the games they've got coming up. They've got some very, very big games. And it starts exactly the same game. We've just talked about it. We talk about it on Saturday. Oxford United away from home, Shrewsbury at home, Plymouth away, Cambridge United at home, Rotherham United at home, and Morecambe away. So a bit of a mixed run in there, to be fair. Plymouth is going to be a real challenge. Rotherham at home is going to be a real challenge. And Oxford United away is going to be a real challenge. Hopefully making it a challenge for them. And it's going to be a massive, massive game, no doubt. And as well of that, and like we've just seen, and I think the result on Tuesday about Oxford United against Morecambe completely explains everything. You know, we talk about Cambridge United, Morecambe and Shrewsbury being games that I think Sunderland are going to get wins in. Clearly that isn't a guarantee, as Oxford United found on Tuesday. That's how tight it's going to be. And if Oxford are going to get into the playoffs, what is a complete fact as well is it's going to need a team like Sunderland, like Wycombe, like Sheffield Wednesday to slip up. It's going to take a team, one of those teams, to slip up on these difficult games in between what we already know on paper is going to be a massive game against teams already up there in the league. So it's going to need a slip up. Which game is that going to be for Sunderland? I don't know. But based on that formula, that leaves them on, I believe, 11 potential points added on. So, you can see here that extra game does come in handy, and the game in hand that Oxford played on Tuesday, which defeat, is a massive blow, and it definitely advantages Sunderland going into the game. But like I said, everything can change, and one result can change everything. You know, if Oxford go and beat Sunderland tomorrow afternoon, and then things happen in the other games, Oxford United are back in the playoffs, which I think they can be. Yeah, they're back in the playoff places because their goal difference is slightly better than the other two teams as well, and everything completely changes. Yes, the game in hand will still need to be played, but everything can change. Momentum can change, and psychologically as well. This league and this playoff race is all about the psychological factors. Being in the top six is much better, and I mean chasing is much more difficult. Whereas if you're already in it, there's much more relaxation, if you like, about the situation, and you can play games with a little bit of a psychological advantage, knowing you're already in those playoff places. Yes, you can fall out of them, but you've got that boost, you've got that real momentum you can take on. That comes with form, of course, as well. So you can see there are 11 points added on to their total points of 70. We'll come back to that. Obviously, I'm not avoiding it because of the maths. I think I can quite manage 70 plus 11, but I want to sort of really wait in just a second, just so I can put them all together. But 11 points potentially added on based on those games. So next then we've got Wycombe Wanderers, currently 6th in the league in those playoff places. They dropped down to 8th for a few games, to be fair, but their recent form's been really, really impressive, and they're winning games of football. They come into this run in and come into these games with real momentum, and as well they've got some really, really big games. But I'd say, I think with the form they're currently on, I think Wycombe are a real team to watch out for. We talk about Gillingham away, we talk about Plymouth at home, massive game. AFC Wimbledon away, not in great form at all. Sheffield Wednesday at home, gigantic 6-pointer for the playoffs, you could say. And Burton away, also not in great form either. I think they've got not the nicest run in, but I think they've got the nicest run in. I'm going to be honest, I think they have. I think they've got a run in which, on form, a Wycombe side on form, a Wycombe side with real confidence at the moment. I think that's a really doable run in for Wycombe. Even though they've got a game less, I still think they're going to really benefit from the games they've got coming up, because they've got some huge games mixed with some games you expect them to win. And at the moment, based on performance that Wycombe are playing at, I think they will go on and win. So with those potential points and on, that's also 11. And I also think as well, interestingly, looking at it from a purely formula perspective, although they're one of the teams that don't have another game, don't have the sixth game, if you like, they don't have a red team, a team that I think, based on the formula, are gonna beat them. Whereas Sunderland, although they've got pretty much the same amount of green, they've got exactly the same amount of green, same amount of orange. They've also got one red team in there as well. Whereas although Wycombe have one game less, they don't have one of those teams that I think are going to beat them. So that again definitely does benefit them, and also cancels out almost their game in hand. It doesn't actually, but you know what I'm trying to say. Based on the formula, it technically does. As for Sheffield Wednesday, 5th in the league, 72 points currently sat on. I've been really impressed with Sheffield Wednesday in recent weeks. The Sheffield Wednesday were sort of stuck in this place where they were winning games of football, then losing them, and the inconsistency was really holding them back. And then you found them sort of just about getting in there and then falling out really quickly. But their recent form has been really, really quite good. They've got 6 games. They've got 6 games rather than 5. Again, 72 points, 5th in the league, better goal difference than Wycombe, hence why they are higher in the league with the same amount of points. And also, with the games coming up, it will leave them with 11 points. Don't worry, we'll break those games down more individually. Bolton away is going to be a real difficult test. We know Bolton this season have been really, really good. Although maybe not in this playoff race, maybe they would have wanted to be. Unfortunately, unfortunate for them, but it's going to. I really hope they do cause a little bit of upset, Bolton fans. I really hope you can do that. I'm sorry, Sheffield Wednesday fans. MK Dons away. I mean, these next 2 games of Wednesday are really, really tough. Really, really tough. I've got them down to get 1 point from the next 6 points potential. So that's Bolton and MK Dons. But again, we know Sheffield Wednesday this season, they pulled up upsets. They've also slipped up at points you thought they wouldn't do. So that's how close and that's how unpredictable it is. They've then got Crewe at home, which you would expect them to win. Wycombe away, that's a real playoff 6-pointer you could see. And then Fleetwood away, expect them to win as well. And Portsmouth at home, which interestingly, I've got them to win because they are blurring them in the league at home. That could really go either way as well. So although Sheffield Wednesday I think Sheffield Wednesday probably have got the most difficult run in. It's definitely between Sheffield Wednesday and probably Oxford as well. But then Sunderland, they've got Plymouth, Rotherham, and Oxford. It probably, I mean, out of the team, I mean, the teams that have got, I think, the most comfortable run-ins, which it could easily quickly turn not that comfortable, but anything on face value, it probably is Wycombe. Everybody else has got some absolutely massive games against some really big teams that could turn this playoff race on its head so quickly. That's the beauty of League One. That's the beauty of football. You literally do not know. I can put any formula in there under the sun, but you look at these run-ins, you can see there the three teams, Sheffield Wednesday, Wycombe and Sunderland, 6 games remaining, 5 points remaining. All I think are going to get 11 points based on that formula. That's what it's going to do. Oxford, 69 points, and going to get the least amount of points based on the formula. It does see Oxford United miss out. It also sees Sunderland miss out as well. You can see here on the screen the potential points added on to their total points at the moment: 83 points, 83 points, 81 points, and 77 points. So, based on those run-ins, based on that formula, the playoff, and we'll have to take into consideration, I haven't got score lines, I can't really change the goal difference, but ultimately it'll be Sheffield Wednesday and Wycombe that make the playoffs. It'll be Sunderland and Oxford that don't. And that's just the run-ins, and that's just looking at the run-ins and looking at potential and predicting really those scores. So, and the games, that's how interesting it's going to be, and that hurts me. It pains me as an Oxford United fan to see that, but that's the reality of it. If you're not in good form like Oxford United at the moment, and talk about timing a run badly, and timing a run of bad form badly, I mean, Oxford United are certainly doing that at the moment. No win in the last 3 games. Morecambe on Tuesday, aside that in the relegation battle at the moment, yes, they've got that edge to them, and that probably is why they benefited them and why it probably helped them win the game, really, because they're in it means so much for Morecambe trying to get themselves out of the relegation zone. But that's no excuse for Oxford. We should be a beating team. We should be beating a team like Morecambe. No disrespect to them. But you've got, as well, Sunderland, who are going to be expecting it and want to get in the top 6 so badly. Wycombe Wanderers relegated last season. They want to get back into the Championship. Same with Sheffield Wednesday. All of these sides have been so good this season. Whatever happens, there's probably going to be a team that misses out on the top 6 with 80 points. And that's, and if you're going to take anything away from this episode, that's what I want you to take away. There's going to be some huge teams, some such heartbreaking teams that are going to miss out on this playoff, these playoffs at the end of the season. And I reiterate again, 81 points Sunderland would be on with those potential added points, and that would not see them finish in the top 6. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I want to have a look at the league table at the moment as well. I was going to see, can I change the date to last season? Here we go. So last season, 74 points would get you in the top 6. The team, 81 points, as we said, that we said Sunderland would get you on, would have got you 3rd last season. That's how things are absolutely ridiculous. That is how it is an incredible run-in we find ourselves in. But, that says everything, doesn't it? 81 points on formula Sunderland would be on, and that would get them 3rd in the league. 74 points would get you in the top 6, and Oxford United only beat Charlton to it based on goal difference in the end. I mean, that is absolutely... That's mental. Absolutely crazy. And that shows how competitive and how incredible this season has been. Look at that. 72 points at the moment. Wycombe are on in 6th spot. But I mean, look at the sides in there. I mean, Ipswich probably do potentially still have a shout, but probably not really. It is between Oxford and Sheffield Wednesday. I think Plymouth, Rotherham, MK Dons and Wigan have all booked their place in the playoffs. I don't see that changing, but absolutely incredible. I know what you're waiting for. Jack, who do you think is going to finish in the top 6? Who do you reckon is going to finish in those playoff places? I'm looking at those run-ins. I'm looking at those potential points. I think Wycombe will do it. And my heart right now, my heart says Oxford United will do it. My head says completely the otherwise. My head says Oxford United won't do it. I think we've timed a run of form so badly. I think the games we've got coming up are so difficult, and also we've got. I mean, Sunderland and Sheffield Wednesday have got a game in hand on us. It's no part of me deep down can go, we're definitely going to do it. My heart says Oxford United can do anything. My head says I just think this might be a little bit too far. I don't think Oxford United are going to make it. Sunderland, Wycombe Wanderers, Sheffield Wednesday. I think Wycombe are going to do it. It is then between Sheffield Wednesday and Sunderland for me. I think it really could go either way. The game tomorrow, Oxford against Sunderland, of course we'll be doing a match reaction for it, is absolutely massive. If Oxford beat Sunderland, I think we're back to square one. If Sunderland win, I think Sunderland could go on and really do it. I think that completely, that ends Oxford United's chances. I think really puts Sunderland in that front foot. If it's a draw, it's not a great result really for either side. It's pretty better for Sunderland, you could say. Not great for Oxford United at all. I think Oxford will see this as a 3 points needed. Completely nothing less than that. But I'm going to go with Sheffield Wednesday and Wycombe. I'm going to go with the formula. And it's not just because of that. I think Sheffield Wednesday got a really, really difficult run in, so that's why it's really quite close. I don't think Oxford United will do it. I think Wycombe will do it. It's between Sheffield Wednesday and Sunderland. I'm edging towards Sheffield Wednesday because of where they are in the league at the moment. Both teams you can see here, recent form. You can see here Sunderland. Both Sunderland and Sheffield Wednesday are unbeaten, at least in the last 5, same as Wycombe as well. But this recent form for Oxford really, really isn't great, and that needs to change tomorrow. But I'm going to go and I'm going to stick what I said before going in, because I've sort of contradicted myself in my own head since I started. I am going to go with a Sheffield Wednesday and Wycombe playoff. I was going to go with Sunderland and Wycombe, but I'm going to go with Sheffield Wednesday and Wycombe, which means Sunderland and Oxford United so disappointingly and so harshly miss out on the playoffs. But Wycombe, I think, are definite. Oxford, not definite, but I think Wycombe probably in the best place. I think Oxford United are probably out of it. I think Sunderland and Sheffield Wednesday, it's between those two, but I'm going to edge towards Sunderland, Sheffield Wednesday, because I don't want to sit on the fence. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Who do you think is going to make the top 6 come the end of the season? So tight. I've looked at today at the different, created a formula really, looked at the run-ins, looked at the potential sides in contention, looked at the potential points added their total already points that they got on the league table as well, looking at recent form. Of course, we've got to take that into consideration as well. Let me know who you think in the comments down below. I want to hear from you. I'll be replying and responding to all of your thoughts as per usual. Something a little bit different today, but hopefully something you enjoy. Until next time, I've been Jack. This has been the Young Fan Podcast. I'll see you all very, very soon. See you in a bit.